Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Actor Diane Keaton's secret cause of death: kids, career, age, lifestyle and fortune. Diane Keaton's name has long been synonymous with timeless Hollywood elegance, wit, and authenticity. From her unforgettable roles in The Godfather and Annie Hall to her distinctive sense of style and outspoken nature, Keaton became one of the most admired and respected actresses of her generation. But behind her radiant smile, quirky charm, and impressive achievements, there was a life filled with quiet struggles, emotional pain, and personal battles that very few ever truly understood. Now, as the world mourns her tragic passing, shocking revelations have begun to surface about her final days, her secret cause of death, and the complex legacy she leaves behind. The truth about Diane Keaton's health, her family, her fortune, and her private life reveals a woman who was both deeply human and incredibly strong, a star who shone brightly despite her hidden pain. Diane Keaton was born Diane Hall on January 5, 1946, in Los Angeles, California. She grew up in a loving family but was always drawn to performance and creativity from a young age. Her mother, Dorothy Diane Keaton Hall, was a homemaker and amateur photographer who greatly influenced Diane's artistic sensibilities. Her father, John Newton Ignatius Hall, was a civil engineer and real estate broker. Keaton's relationship with her family, especially her mother, was one of the most important aspects of her life, often inspiring her later work in both film and literature. Diane Keaton attended Santa Ana High School and later studied drama at Santa Ana College before transferring to the neighborhood playhouse in New York City, where she began training as an actress. Her early years in New York were full of hardship and perseverance. Like many aspiring artists, she struggled financially while auditioning for roles, but her determination and distinctive presence set her apart. In 1968, she landed her first major break when she joined the Broadway cast of Hair. Ironically, despite the show's focus on counterculture freedom, Diane refused to perform nude on stage, showing early signs of the moral independence and self-assurance that would define her entire career. Her real breakthrough came when she was cast by Woody Allen in his Broadway play Play It Again, Sam, a collaboration that would lead to a series of iconic films including Sleeper, Love and Death, and, of course, Annie Hall. Released in 1977, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Annie Hall was not only a box office success but a cultural phenomenon, redefining romantic comedy with its sharp wit and realism. Diane Keaton's portrayal of the quirky, endearing, and vulnerable Annie earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress and made her a global sensation. But beyond the role, the film mirrored Diane's real-life relationship with Alan, a mix of intellectual chemistry, emotional complexity, and creative inspiration. While her collaborations with Alan shaped part of her career, Diane Keaton also forged her own path as a serious dramatic actress. Her roles in The Godfather trilogy as Kay Adams Corleone cemented her status as one of Hollywood's finest talents. Working alongside giants like Al Pacino and Marlon Brando, Keaton delivered nuanced performances that showcased her ability to portray quiet strength and inner turmoil. Her later work in films like Reds, 1981, Marvin's Room, 1996, Something's Gotta Give, 2003, and The Family Stone, 2005, displayed her range and versatility. Unlike many actresses of her generation, Keaton refused to be typecast or sidelined by Hollywood's obsession with youth. She continued to reinvent herself well into her 60s and 70s, often playing women who were independent, witty, and unapologetically themselves. In her personal life, Diane Keaton was famously private. She never married, a decision that intrigued the public and the media for decades. However, she had several high-profile romances with some of Hollywood's most admired men, including Woody Allen, Warren Beatty, and Al Pacino. Despite these relationships, Keaton often spoke about her independence and her fear of losing herself in love. In later years, she found fulfillment in motherhood. Keaton adopted 2 children, a daughter, Dexter, in 1996, and a son, Duke, in 2001. She often spoke lovingly about them, calling them her greatest joy and the most meaningful part of her life. Her devotion to her children reflected the deep sense of care and responsibility that defined her off-screen persona. But as her fame grew, so did her struggles. In recent years, Diane Keaton faced a number of health challenges that she chose to keep largely private. Sources close to the actress revealed that she had been battling an undisclosed illness for some time, though she continued to work and maintain her signature upbeat attitude. Those who knew her well say that Keaton never wanted her fans to see her as vulnerable or frail. She wanted to be remembered for her humor, her artistry, and her indomitable spirit. Her final months were reportedly marked by quiet reflection surrounded by her children and close friends. The exact cause of her death has not been officially confirmed, though many speculate that complications from a long-term illness played a role. What is certain, however, is that Diane Keaton faced her final chapter with the same dignity and grace that defined her life. Even in her last days, she reportedly maintained her sharp wit, often cracking jokes with her caregivers and loved ones. She was a woman who met life's challenges head-on, never allowing them to steal her joy or diminish her curiosity about the world. Beyond her film career, Keaton was also an accomplished author, photographer, and designer. She published several books, including her memoir Then Again, which offered a deeply personal look at her life and her relationship with her mother, and brother and sister, which explored her family dynamics and her brother's mental health struggles. Her writings revealed a side of Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Diane that few knew, a woman who was introspective, deeply empathetic, and constantly searching for meaning. Her love of architecture and design was another major part of her identity. She renovated numerous homes in Los Angeles, blending classic charm with modern sensibility, and became known for her impeccable taste. Her work as a preservationist helped save historic buildings in California, earning her praise beyond the entertainment industry. Financially, Diane Keaton's success translated into an impressive fortune. With a career spanning more than 5 decades, she accumulated an estimated net worth of over $100 million. Her earnings came not only from film and television but also from book sales, real estate ventures, and brand collaborations. Unlike many celebrities, she managed her finances wisely, investing in art, property, and charitable causes. She was known for her generosity and for quietly donating to organizations supporting women, children, and the arts. In terms of lifestyle, Keaton remained refreshingly down-to-earth despite her wealth and fame. She famously loved turtlenecks, wide-brimmed hats, and tailored suits, fashion choices that became her trademark. Her look was a blend of vintage sophistication and playful eccentricity, mirroring her personality. She lived in beautiful yet comfortable homes filled with art, books, and memories. Friends often described her as someone who found joy in simple pleasures, good coffee, old movies, and long walks with her children and dogs. Even as she aged, she remained committed to her work, taking on challenging roles that reflected real women's experiences. She once said, "Aging is not the enemy, it's just another chapter." That philosophy guided her through her later years, helping her remain one of Hollywood's most admired figures. In her later career, Keaton appeared in films like Book Club and Palms, where she brought her signature warmth and humor to roles that celebrated female friendship and empowerment. She continued to inspire younger generations of actresses, including stars like Emma Stone and Reese Witherspoon, who credited her as a role model. But perhaps what truly made Diane Keaton unforgettable was her authenticity. She was never afraid to be herself, awkward, funny, emotional, and bold. She spoke openly about her insecurities, her regrets, and her fears, endearing herself to millions who saw her not just as a movie star but as a relatable woman navigating life with grace and honesty. As Hollywood reflects on her passing, tributes from fans and celebrities alike have poured in. Colleagues describe her as a light in every room, a genius in her craft, and a woman who made everyone feel seen. For those who grew up watching her, Diane Keaton was more than an actress. She was a symbol of individuality and empowerment. The secret to her lasting appeal was her refusal to conform. She defied expectations, whether in love, fashion, or career choices. She proved that women could be strong, independent, and funny at any age, and that life didn't end after 40, 50, or even 70. Her resilience, humor, and spirit made her an icon for generations. As details about her health and final days emerge, fans continue to speculate about what she might have endured privately. Yet those closest to her insist that Diane would not want pity or sorrow. She lived fully, loved deeply, and left behind a legacy of laughter, creativity, and courage. Her children, Dexter and Duke, are expected to honor her wishes for a quiet, private memorial surrounded by family and close friends. Diane Keaton's death marks the end of an era, but her influence will endure. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. From her groundbreaking performances to her timeless quotes and distinctive voice, she remains a guiding light for anyone who dares to live authentically. Her films will continue to make audiences laugh, cry, and think, ensuring that her artistry will live on forever. In the end, Diane Keaton's story is not one of tragedy but of triumph. She overcame heartbreak, loneliness, and illness with grace and humor. She built a life rich with purpose, love, and laughter, reminding the world that true beauty lies in imperfection and honesty. Though her passing leaves a void in Hollywood, her spirit continues to inspire. Diane Keaton was more than an actress, she was a legend, an artist, and a woman who taught the world that being yourself is the greatest role of all.